Some might say they don't really listen to classical music, never really grew up with it. But if you know that piece, you likely know more classical music than you think. And it's not an accident. Stick around today, we'll talk about why and how. I'm Jared Ritchie, and today is Friday, January the 16th, 2026, and you're listening to the Friday 5 series from Musically Speaking. Long before many of us ever stepped into a concert hall to hear an orchestra, we were already being trained to hear one. The cartoon television form quietly has served music teachers and music lovers for decades. Shows like Tom and Jerry and even the various renditions of Looney Tunes used orchestral music not just as background sound, but as the language of action, humor, danger, and triumph. The reason they used so much classical music was mostly practical. Much of it was in the public domain. But the result was cultural formation. Children, as a result, learned how to hear the various aspects that make up classical repertoire, the sounds of tension, release, grandeur, sneaking, and surprise through orchestral gesture, and also, of course, having all of this illustrated comedically oftentimes and text painted through the actions of the characters.
How do? Welcome to my shop. Let me cut your mop. Let me shave your crop. Daintily, daintily.
Pieces like Rossini's Barber of Seville, or in this case, The Rabbit of Seville with Bugs Bunny, became commonplace. People didn't just hear them. They kind of got to experience them in their homes on Saturday mornings through the medium of cartoons. Or even things like Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries with Elmer Fudd.
Kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit.
Kill the wabbit?
That's likely the most famous of the examples, and if you know of these cartoon symphonic crossovers, that Elmer Fudd, Bugs Bunny, Kill the Wabbit of Richard Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries is probably the most well-recognized version. And because we heard them in our homes over and over again, they stayed with us, because music told us that something was happening, whether heroic or comical, or when trouble was coming. We had the visual reinforcements. It became an interpreter, and it also gave some added meaning through the visual medium, and that brought a little bit of exposure to classical music to an audience that might not have had it, or at the very least, you could say, audiences that were waning maybe in the classical world. Even people today who say they don't really like classical music can often recognize these themes instantly. Maybe not by name of the composer, maybe not the work, but the orchestra had another hook of connection, another touch point for young people through cartoons such as Tom and Jerry and Bugs Bunny. The Hungarian Rhapsody, probably the second most well-known. Next to Elmer Fudd and Bugs' Kill the Wabbit, the Wagner, is this Hungarian Rhapsody, Tom and Jerry, with a little bit of cat and mouse in and on and through piano music. Lovely comedic sketch, very much enjoyable. And, do you want that it's cartoons that hooked a lot of people in classical music as a music educator like I am? No, but we'll take it how we can get it. And it's still kind of fun to see that crossover and that cultural engagement. And maybe we need to look for ways to keep that going, to get people to love these great art forms. Well, thanks for listening each week. Until next time, take care.